Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe in Lagos.
Sport greetings to you wherever you are in the world joining us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan.
Austin, of course, is going to be, how do I put it, bumper package tonight because Super Eagles of Nigeria, they will be in action on Friday night. We'll be talking about that and also talk about what happened to the Olympic Eagles on Wednesday evening in Abuja, the same stadium that the Super Eagles will be playing Guinea-Bissau. Remember, it was Guinea-Bissau they played against, it ended goalless. Maybe the Super Eagles want to redeem themselves on Friday for those fans who watched the game against Guinea-Bissau yesterday, and they'll have to watch again on Friday. You have to give them something to cheer about. We'll talk about that on the program, and also look at other African countries who also playing their qualifiers, especially Ghana. Just some few minutes ago, Ghana managed to beat Angola by a lone goal. That goal didn't come until 97 minutes. That's extra time. Not really extra time. I mean, added time. That's when Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth, that was the guy who scored for Ghana for them to get that one a victory over Angola. We'll talk about that. And also touch down on what's happening with Barcelona. UEFA entering into the referee issues. Remember we mentioned it 2 or 3 weeks ago when the whole news broke out concerning Barcelona involved in some referees shady deals or something like that. But UEFA is investigating that. And also we'll talk about Russia. The ban finally lifted, talking about the doping ban has been lifted, but then they're still banned because of the war in Ukraine. So Russians, they can't celebrate yet, right?
I know. It's like telling a child that your coffee has been lifted, but you can't go out, you know? Fantastic lineup. Once again, a clear indication that it's an action-packed world of sports in Africa. It's all about the 2023 AFCON qualifiers. I heard you talk about what happened in that game between Ghana and Angola. A clear testament, once again, that there are no small teams in African football. I mean, we saw it in Cameroon at the last AFCON. I don't need to tell anybody again that if you underrate any team or try to be complacent, then we'll start talking about analysis and permutations that, back home in Nigeria, I would say to avoid stories that cut.
Yes.
So the Super Eagles understand that against Guinea-Bissau, they need to go out there and get the job done. And remember, they played Guinea-Bissau at the AFCON in Cameroon. So they kind of know, or
how to play
understand what this, will mean for them. The coach is optimistic. The players, they're confident. I've been listening to them. They're pumped up. So, Cecilia, we'll just wait to see what football will give us when Nigeria takes on Guinea-Bissau at the Abuja National Stadium tomorrow.
So it simply means we can't wait for Friday. But then Bolu Omoniyi is in the studio for us this evening. Bolu, good evening.
Good evening. Good to see your face again. Well, nothing is stopping us today. The road is not stopping us. Good to be back. And you're talking about Ghana scoring in 97th minute winner. Well, it didn't happen to Ghana alone. South Sudan also scored in 96th minute. 10-man South Sudan scored in 96th minute away from home. It reminds me of what Ahmed Musa said yesterday in an interview, that there are no minnows, especially in African football. The truth is, there are better teams, there are better players. But if you snooze, you may not live to say the story, because at the end of the day, Nigeria is a definite example of it. We thought, many Nigerians said, if I remember, incidentally, you were on the show, I think Austin as well, when Amaju Pinnick was confidently saying we want to win the World Cup. You have not even qualified. So it just shows teams are better, yes, but still doesn't guarantee. Central African Republic beat us in Lagos here. So football is beyond the names. If you are not prepared, you lose. Look at our under-23 team, for example. They were better, but better teams don't win the game. It is the team that scored the most that win football matches. So good to be again. And of course, there are some exciting games in Europe today. England with an early lead against Italy. That's a game many also want to look out for. Obviously, going to be an interesting show today.
Obviously, it will be an interesting show. Well, let's just take confirmation of the games that will be played on Friday, of course, involving the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau. Yes, there you have the fixtures for Friday of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, they played 2 games already on 6 points against Guinea-Bissau, who are on 4 points. They'll be in action on Friday night. in Abuja. Cape Verde and Eswatini will be in action here. Burkina Faso and Togo, Cameroon, and of course Namibia will also be in action. These are the fixtures for Fridays. Of course, our focus will be on the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You also have Egypt and Malawi, Guinea, and of course Ethiopia will conclude that for Friday's games. As I mentioned earlier, Super Eagles will take our attention simply because, well, we know we didn't get to the World Cup. The Super Eagles of Nigeria needs to score more goals for the fans to be happy. After what happened on Wednesday, fans came to the stadium, didn't see any goal. They want to see lots and lots of it. And Austin mentioned earlier, the coaches, the players, they've been talking about the game. Austin, I mean, Joseph Peseiro, what's he talking about? What has he been saying?
But he's been optimistic. He understands the mission, Cecilia. When he came into, when he took this job, he knew that he needed to do beyond just coming to be the coach of the Super Eagles. He needed to, treat Nigerian football, win the loyalty and confidence of the fans again. And he took it a step further, even saying that the objective is to win the AFCON. You know what? Let's listen to Coach Jose Peseiro. He's speaking ahead of that crutch encounter against Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea, last time you play against Guinea, you beat Guinea 2-0, yes? Okay. You cannot think the team is the opponent is very good or is not so good. You need to respect all the teams. Guinea belong Africa, belong AFCON, belong at this tournament, belong our group. Only you need to do the maximum for beat them. If some player go for one match and don't put in the focus, all the focus, you can do bad. Even in football football is the better sport in the world, because you can shoot 20 times and lose. The opponent cannot shoot one time and win. You can do one goal. It's different other modality. You can do everything well. Sometimes you cannot win. For that, for prevention, you put in your mind, every time in your mind, motivation, consistency, focus, for do our best. Can happen something bad, but happen without our responsibility, because the football is football.
Yeah, football is football. That is what is coming from Coach Joseph Peseiro. And of course, I love the fact that he is not underrating the team. Austin, I mean, you talked about the fact that this man just want to win. That's what he wants. He has won his first 2 games. Let's leave the qualifiers, the friendlies that they played that they didn't win. But then when it comes to African Cup of Nations, he's getting the results. That's what is important. And he wants to continue with that against Guinea-Bissau on Friday night.
Cecilia, the fans of the Super Eagles will say, no, we are not leaving out the friendlies. Because at the time they took the job, they were hurting. The fans wanted a Super Eagles that would bounce back, play with purpose, play with ambition, win back their loyalty with good football, say they are sorry. So Jose Peseiro at the time came on and said that they will win the AFCON, and then they were losing friendlies. So it was difficult to understand that, look, does he know what he's talking about? But I love the confidence he's building in the team. I love the fact that he's playing the role of a father figure properly. And this is the spirit. This is the vibes that the Super Eagles need. And as you can see, members of the team right there chilling, looking forward towards that match against Guinea-Bissau and, getting the fans excited right there in Abuja. Prophet Towobola is a match and player analyst. He's standing by. But let's listen to some of the players. Francis Uzo and Daniel Bami speak ahead of this encounter, and we'll come back. Prophet will join us.
Nigerians should expect the same. I know our country, they always expect us to perform. So that's the same thing I would want them to perform, to expect. So they should expect a good game from us. And today is our third training together, so we are getting there. The game is on Friday. We still have 2 sections more. So I think and I hope we'll be well prepared before the game.
And what are your personal expectations?
To perform, and also most importantly for the team to get the points necessary to qualify for the next African Cup of Nations.
We are prepared, I must say, and I trust the process and the coaches, and they have given us a good orientation. and we are ready for the game. As you likely say, the Super Eagles is the highest form of football when it comes to Nigeria and also in Africa, worldwide, you know. And I know the expectations of Nigerians are high. You know, they want to see a good game. They want to see us winning at home, and I will give them just that.
So that's it. Super Eagles goalkeeper Francis Uzo, and of course, the latest entrant into the team, captain of the Flying Eagles, Daniel Bami, is speaking ahead of that game against Guinea-Bissau. Cecilia, I know you want to get more players to come into the conversation, but let's invite our guest analyst on the show tonight. Tofet Tawabola is in Abuja right there where everything is going down. Tofet, good evening. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
Good evening, Austin. Nice to have you.
Awesome. Good to have you on the show. So tonight, Tofet is not in Istanbul, where we always connect to him from. Tonight is right there in Abuja, monitoring everything that will go down tomorrow between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau. Tofet, what have you seen on ground?
It's looking exciting. Actually, the energy is looking good. You know, the country is in a different state right now, and the players have come around. It's been a long time we had a game because of the winter season. So I think everyone is optimistic. The boys look happy, and of course, most of them are doing well in their club side. So I think the spirits look free and good. I think it's going to be a good match tomorrow.
So for who is in this invited list? Who is missing that you would have loved to see that can make a difference in the team?
To be honest, there's not a lot of players that I would think that, could have improved the spot. The call-up was good. I mean, all the big names are there. You know, for me, I would want to change your question and make it look like I think we invited too many strikers. You know, I was just thinking about it as well when I looked at the team list, and I was just thinking that we have so many quality strikers, of course, that Nigerian national players, but we have to try and make more midfield and defenders into the team, because imagine if we had 3 or 4 more world-class players in Real Madrid and Barcelona. Are we going to invite them all? If we had players in all the big teams in the world, are we going to invite 9 strikers on the 9 top teams? Of course not. So we have to drop some of them so the coach can now focus more on what he has rather than confused, because now he's confused about what to play, because they're all good and they can all do the job as well. So he's put himself in a future state, I think.
I don't know about you, but I know you must play Victor Osimhen. Cecilia, you can take it over.
All right. I mean, he had to. He doesn't have a choice. I mean, 29 games, 25 goals. You can't definitely get that, just like that. Atofe, I mean, you talked about the team. I mean, 8 strikers, 8 defenders, 4 midfielders. Ask the question on Tuesday, because when you have a team like that, 3 goalkeepers, 8 defenders, 8 strikers, and 4 midfielders, it doesn't look like a balanced team. And you mentioned that maybe some of the strikers could have been dropped. But if you're going to bring in more midfielders, where are we going to get the players from?
We have a couple of young players around. We have Oyedikachi in Belgium as well.
Okay.
And we have a few other players around. I don't want to mention the names, actually. I don't want to go too deep into that. But to be honest with you, we could also have invited more defenders, because I think that's where we have a problem. We have 8,
actually. We have 8. I think that should be enough. We have 8 defenders that he invited. You think he should have invited more?
Yeah, but if you look at the 8, Bright Osai Samuel is not an out-and-out defender. He's a wing back.
Okay.
And we also have Bami, who's new into things as well. So, and I think we need to invite more defenders, and we need to try and get our best defensive pairing. The strikers are too much. But it's not his fault. I mean, you can't drop them all. You can't drop them. So it's a bit of a conundrum how he's going to play. But I guess he's looking at Alex Iwobi and thinking that at Everton he's playing a more defensive role, and he's playing a more central midfield role. So I hope he'll be looking at Alex Iwobi to say, okay, you know what, he could be more a more reserved role, and then the strikers could get a more chance to play number 10.
Okay, let me bring in Bolo right here. Bolo, I mean, he just mentioned, we've been talking about the Super Eagles team. It's usually not a balanced team when you see more strikers and defenders. Midfield is a bit lean, very lean.
It feels like Super Eagles sometimes is going for war, attack and defend. Don't worry about it.
That's all we knew.
And the fact that also Peseiro plays 4 midfielders. That's why I think he needs more. And the truth is, I used to be part of those that used to berate England for, you blow small, they cap you. The truth is, we need to do the same thing, tie them down. We have some Nigerians who we may probably convince to play. Maybe they've now attempted, but we don't know. The likes of Ebere Cheze, Michael Olise, even Billing. They have Nigerian they can play for. Bring as many as possible. Do the best you can on the field of play and select it. The truth is, if you have 100 strikers doing well, You can't play if they are wingers and this. You can say okay, blend. But top nines, you can't play. You should not play 3 top nines in one team. At most, you play 2 of them. But is the coach, based on what we heard from the last training they had yesterday, he found a way to have 2 separate teams. But the truth is, he needs one. And that's why he needs time. It's one of the reasons why I always criticize players that come late to camp. If you are coming in Tuesday night, you can't have a full training until Wednesday. But if everybody resumes that Monday, you can start looking.
He came in Wednesday night.
Yeah, he came in Wednesday. Osimhen came in Tuesday night. It was in Lagos or in the morning signing. So I still believe if there's enough time to prepare, the coach can have but most of the time, coaches have at least half of the players he knows will start. And like Austin said, Osimhen's jersey is 100% sure. Except something happens that we pray not happens. He's going to start. Who is blending with him? Who are you pairing with him? If also Peseiro is playing 4-4-2 like we hear, it has to be Osimhen. So will it be Osimhen and Paulo Nacho? Will it be Osimhen and Ademola Lookman? He will be likely to continue to play in the midfield. But who are you playing along with him? Indeed, he's not doing well for the club, but we know what he brings to the table for Nigeria. So much that people are saying indeed he should be the next captain. We know when he wears the Super Eagles jersey, he's a different being entirely. But who is he playing with? Will he be the same Maribo, bringing in Iwobi and Co? So those are the things I want to believe also Peseiro knows already. The game is tomorrow. This time tomorrow, the game will be over. So I want to believe he knows what to do. But in reality, we need more. Like they'll tell you, the more the merrier. England can line up 5 different teams. And at least you see top quality in everything. There's nothing stopping us as much as we can. Bring them. If you are doing well, come. If you mess up, you push aside for a bit. Not that every time, at some point when Musa was clubless, we still kept calling him. We should have grown past that stage, but if we don't have more than enough, especially in the middle, we'll keep rotating the same 3-4 players every column.
Interesting. Toffe, just before I go to Austin, what do you expect? What do you want to see on Friday night? What should Jose Peseiro do to not just, beat Guinea, but at least beat them with a resounding results, not just 1 or 2. I mean, we need goals. We want to celebrate. Everyone at the stadium obviously want to see the best of the Super Eagles after witnessing what happened against Ghana when we didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, to be honest, we had a good outing in the last qualifying game. We scored 10 goals. I really expect the Super Eagles to do well tomorrow as well. No disrespect to Guinea-Bissau. They've also scored 7 goals in the group stage so far. I really expect that the Eagles are going to come out and play. I think Peseiro should not really be looking like, worried tomorrow, but I'm more worried about what's going to happen after that. So to answer the question, actually, I think he needs to try to see how he can blend his team together. He's had a couple of friendly matches. He's played some qualifiers. He's won some games. But I think he now needs to know his first team. It's very important that he knows who he wants to play and who plays well together so he can prepare for better matches and bigger matches in the future.
That's right. Totally agree with you. He needs to know his first team, that commanding first team that when they file out, they will even motivate the guys on the bench. Let's take a listen. More Super Eagles players are reacting. We'll come back. Bolu and Toffe will also react to whatever they talk about. Stay with us.
The first thing that they should expect is that we're going to give 100% and we're going to fight for our country and we're going to ensure that we get the result that we want because we want to qualify for AFCON. So we're going to give 100%, not just for ourselves but for the fans as well. We're very prepared, we're doing very well. We've still got a couple of days to go. Everyone's now joined the camp together today. So yeah, we're going to prepare for the next 2 days. But we're feeling very good. Everyone's in good form in their clubs. So I'm sure they'll bring that to Nigeria and we'll do well for the country. Of course, Guinea is going to be a difficult game. We expect that. But at the same time, we trust our players that we'll be able to put up a show, put a performance against them.
They're a good team, but I think as a team, we believe that we've got talented players. And I feel like if we can put our talent and our hard work together, then I believe that we can win the game. And I'm sure the fans are good that we can be. So I think as a whole, the whole camp is confident that we'll win. We all know how important this game is. We always want to win at home, especially. And I think everyone's prepared. I think if you look around, everyone's focused and everyone knows the importance of this game. And like I said, for me as well, I'm prepared and I'm just willing to go out there and show how good that we can be. So, yeah.
We have to bring our talent, our abilities on the pitch. And if we do that, I think we make sure 3 points for our side. The coach has his tactics, his plan, and he tries to bring it into our mind. Of course, not easy if everybody's playing in a different team and comes to Nigeria and have their own
tactics, so we have to bring it very quickly in our mind, in our head, and if we do that, then we're going to win this game.
I totally agree. That's very, very important. The mental side of the game. It's Sports Tonight on Channels Television. It was at the Abuja National Stadium that the Super Eagles failed to qualify for the World Cup. It was at the Abuja National Stadium that Nigeria failed to qualify for the CHAN. Will the Abuja National Stadium be good to the Super Eagles of Nigeria tomorrow? Bolu will tell us when we'll come back from this break. Don't go anywhere. Hey. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We are previewing that 2023 AFCON qualifying game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau. The Super Eagles of Nigeria topped the Group A table of that qualifying campaign with 6 points. They've gotten 2 wins from 2 matches. Guinea-Bissau follows with 4 points. Bolu, let me bring you into the conversation now. Are you part of those Nigerians who are asking questions as regards a lack of faith at the Abuja National Stadium? And they're also saying, it's Guinea-Bissau, no problem.
Naturally, it shouldn't be a problem, but we've heard this before. Like I said earlier, we were knocked by a car in Lagos traffic. So Guinea-Bissau are definitely a way better side than Central African Republic. So I like what all the players, Iwobi, Akpoguma, and Osayi said. They all focused on one thing, that they will not underrate their opposition, and also they know the task at hand. The truth is, if they lose the second leg, which will be played in Morocco, well, maybe it's still, but this one in Nigeria, in Abuja, they have no other choice but to win. Like you ruled out before the break, Abuja Stadium feels like it's been, well, maybe not so good news for them, for the Super Eagles, for the under-8 teams. This time around, they have to do everything to win. The Olympic Eagles did not win there. Now, people are looking at them that those guys didn't give us happiness. You must do better. This is not a question of, okay, will they or not will. This one should be how many goals will they score. Everyone's attention now is on them. Remember, the last qualifier at home was not played in Abuja. Now you are back in Abuja, which is supposed to be your home front. Your home stadium should be your territory, should be a fortress. Any opposition, irrespective, even Brazil, England, Argentina, they should be scared to come and play you at home. Guinea-Bissau should not be underrated. If you think it's going to be a walk in the park, never. They are coming to play football, but you should do everything you can. One thing I always tell people about coaching is anybody can set up a team, but your decisions in game will separate the best from the rest. Are you ready for plan B? In case plan A doesn't work, are you ready for plan C, D? If possible, have up to Z. The only thing that will make Nigerians happy tomorrow is to win that game, because many Nigerians actually have given up hopes on the Super Eagles. Some of us are still advising them the good days will come, but the good days has to start from tomorrow. So I believe Super Eagles should do everything they can to win against Guinea-Bissau.
I know. Let's talk about the players available to execute tomorrow's mission. We know the regulars, but what do you think about Semi Ajayi and what will listen to Kevin Akpoguma? What can they bring to this team?
I think they're both good players. Semi Ajayi has been around, like playing in the championship for a while, and he's joined the Eagles. And his time hasn't really come. He hasn't really had a chance to cement his place in the Super Eagles as well. We don't have AFCON right now. We don't have Balogun as well. Kenneth Omero is back to the fold as well. I think Semi Ajayi is grown as a man. I remember him when he was in youth teams, and I think that he has a big chance tomorrow, if he should play, to stake his claim as one of the first, choice centre backs for the Super Eagles. I think he's quick, and I think his reaction is good. And I still don't really know about his decision making, but I mean, it's against Guinea-Bissau. I think it will do him a lot of good if he can get 90 minutes in.
Interesting.
So, what's special with this Super Eagles team?
I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I think we're individually great. Players are doing well in their team. Paul Noachu has made a good transfer as well. Victor Osimhen, we don't need to talk about that. That could take forever. Alex Iwobi has also impressed me as well. He's played more deeply in Everton. He's chasing balls. Team is not doing well, but you can see how he's fighting in every game as well. And also we have Terry Murphy scoring goals, Lukman scoring goals, and Chukwueze has also scored before this game. So I mean, individually we're good. I don't see like a team. I cannot see us as a team right now. But the exciting things are individually our players are doing well right now in their club side. But the coach has a lot of work to do to blend that, and that's always a big problem. You have a few days to put them together and make them, work as a unit. That's why he needs to invite the ones that he's going to use, because if you bring in players, you're going to get confused. If you bring in too many strikers, especially because, as you said, you cannot play 3 big men up there. You need to choose how you want to play. So I believe it's going to be a good game tomorrow. I believe we're going to win sound. I'm just hoping that the coach can use the opportunity to really know his first team and really know what he wants to do going forward long term.
Yes, Cecilia.
Yeah, interesting you said that. I mean, the coach should know the team, his team, and also know the ones to play going forward. Because when you invite, as you mentioned, so many strikers, so many defenders, how do you put them together? Like for you, who are the players you really want to see in the first 11 in the game tomorrow?
I guess it's a no-brainer. Victor Osimhen. I'd like to see Victor Osimhen. I'd like to see Alex Iwobi. Ndidi always has done well for us, and I think he also should get a look in. Aribo has been doing well as well, so he should play. It's very difficult who Osimhen is going to play with up there, but I think the coach definitely has to go with Terry Murphy, because he just knows how to find the net, and I think he could form a partnership like that, because I don't think Osimhen and Onuachu play together. Okay. I think they're almost the same kind of strikers, even if Osimhen is more technical as well. I think that could be a problem if we start both of them at the same time. So, and I'd like to see Kenneth Omoro play tomorrow as well, Calvin Bassey. So, the players that are going to play are sure. We know how it's going to be. I just think that the coach should just think about his first team going forward, and he should try to stick to that. I'll give you an example. At the World Cup, the last World Cup, not this one, we had Saka ahead of all other players, and the coach liked the player, and he was more listening to him than Jadon Sancho. And the coach, Gareth Southgate, decided to make Saka his first choice, and he decided to work with him. It's better your players you want to use, and you work with them, than you just keep calling everyone and then get confused. And not to mention, I think Samuel Moses as well should also start. I'll give you a bit of my list.
I know.
That's a bit of it's not complete. The goalkeepers, who do you want to see? We have 3. Okay, you just have one.
I guess it's Uzoho. He's had some shaky games for the Eagles, but of course, he had a good Europa League outing as well recently. And he looks, from what we have on ground, the most reliable. And I think we'll go with him and try and give him some more confidence.
Is it kind of tricky for us to, because if you look at the other 2 goalkeepers, yes, they are not well known, playing at home and everything. Is it tricky that we just have one that we can rely on? Because Okoye, for instance, we don't know what's happening to him. Maybe he decided to just take the back seat after what happened. We not qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah, we don't want to go into details. We don't know what happened there, but it's probably as you said. The truth about the Super Eagles keeper department is that it's not easy. We don't always have a lot of keepers playing at high levels. But, we should always encourage our home keepers as well. Uzoho was just playing in academies before he played for the national team. And eventually the youth national team, helped him to find a club. And I believe that even the keepers that we've called up now, if they could stake their claim and if they could get a chance to play a couple of matches, I believe teams will come in for them as well, and they can also become foreign pros. I think for the keeper department, I think we always have to try to focus to make sure that our backup keepers are local, and at least that helps the roots coming out. And I think that's what the new NFL president is probably going to try to do. I think he's going to try to help a good blend for our local players to be able to get some visibility, which is important as well.
Interesting. Okay. Let me quickly ask. Okay, Bolu, your team you want to see on Friday before we move to the Olympic Eagles.
Well, there was a time, especially after the last AFCON, when some players were not coming in. We were seeing Shemi Ajayi as the man, so I wouldn't mind seeing him again. But it will be interesting to see how he will fare with Akpoguma. Akpoguma has not really been played in his preferred position for Nigeria. Most of the time, he has more appearances as a right back than over as a center. So let's see how we will do well. I think Shemi Ajayi would play. It's not a question of will he pay him with Calvin Bassey or will he pay him with Akpoguma. And on the right, irrespective of what happened, I think I agree to an extent with Tofe, especially for the goalkeeping position. We have no goalkeeper for Super Eagles that we can say this is a sure goalkeeper. So if it means coming home, that's why I feel even NPFL players step up on your own. My only worry for NPFL is, do we even call the best? I remember when we took John Noble, he was a third choice for his club. He was the one we chose to the AFCON. So that's my worry with local-based players or keeper. But now is the chance for them to step up. But in the midfield, I would love to have Aribo and Ndidi. On the sides, have Chukwueze, who has been under the radar, but is doing so well. I think he's the only Nigerian so far to have 10 goals and 10 assists in all competitions. And on the other hand, have Iwobi, and up front, Osimhen, everybody wants Osimhen up front. Then the question is now, will he be with Murphy, like Tofe rightly said, or will he be with Ademola Lookman, who plays with him in the Serie A? Either we know he will play 4-4-2. It is who and who will play that matter. So if it goes like that, I wouldn't mind. I just want to enjoy my game tomorrow. Let it be one of the few times you sit down, watch Super Eagles, and be like, yeah, that's my team.
Yeah, the first 3 games we played at the Nations Cup, I remember, yeah, that we said that's our team. But what happened after that? Just that consistency. That's what we're looking for.
Cecilia, why are you taking us? You are always reminding us of those days we don't want to remember.
No, we had good 3 games. Also, it was fantastic. I mean, I still go back to watch some of these games. Really, I mean, I was like, yo, this is Super Eagles. Okay, let's leave that and quickly talk about the Olympic Eagles. We wanted to see goals because that's what they were promised, but then it didn't happen. MK Abiola Stadium happened. It was goalless against Guinea-Bissau, the younger team of Guinea-Bissau, the senior ones that the Super Eagles will be playing on Friday. Now, this game, we're expecting something better, you know, but maybe the likes of Success Makonjola should come, you know, to the party and everything. But then somehow it ended like this, and then they will now go away to play the return leg. And this is the final round of qualifiers. So it's likely if nothing happened in the second leg, well, nothing should happen. Might not go to Olympics again, back to back.
We don't want to hear that. And I listened to Salisu Yusuf. I was just shaking my head, talking about how miscommunication of instructions between players. And then at a point, the sad part was when he said some of the foreign-based players that came in, they don't invite foreign-based players. Like we said about Super Eagles, most coaches in training, what they do sometimes, their first 11 train on one side, they face the others. Or sometimes your first 11, the midfield and attack, face the opposition team that will have your defense. So giving an excuse of foreign-based players coming in, the truth is we don't want questions. But again, if they don't qualify for the Olympic Games or the AFCON, he has the job as the assistant coach of Super Eagles. So they always but when you let them know you lose this, your job is gone. You remember when the NFF's communique said, okay, what happens? We are shuffling assistant coaches. So it means the next time Super Eagles will play, if they don't qualify, Salisu will be in the dugout. No. I think sometimes we need drastic measures. And that's what happens when you have senior coaches take charge of under-8 team. It's like telling Pep Guardiola to coach Spain's Olympic team. For what? Because he's not used to things like this. But fortunately, we are both going away for second leg. The game in Morocco is like away for both teams. You have to do everything you can. Maybe we should do what Ghana did to us. God's going to play 1-1. The thing they need in the second leg is to get a goal first. It was disappointing. Yeah, they had attempts in Abuja, but having attempts and scoring are 2 different things entirely. I expected a win. They did not. All hopes are not gone. They still have a chance, but it's now more difficult. If you can't do it at home, what's the assurance you do it away? But in the second leg, try and score first. Score first, score early, and put the pressure on the opposition.
Yeah, Tofe, let me ask you this on the Olympic Eagles. What happened against Guinea-Bissau on Wednesday night? It wasn't what we expected because everyone expected at least they should score a goal and have that advantage going into the second leg. Do you think they're in danger of not even qualifying for the qualifiers for the Olympics because they need this final round to get into the Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations before they can even think of qualifying for the Olympics?
It's thrown at me, right, Cecilia? Exactly. Okay, you know what? I think that the Under-23 Olympics is always a very tricky thing. We don't always have the right amount of time to prepare. We don't always have an amount of cash in that team. I've worked with that team before as well as an analyst. It's always very difficult to get that team together, and the team is not taken seriously until they qualify for the Olympics. So in their defense, I can say that because I've tried to work with them a couple of times in the past. This team, of course, had to score goals. I mean, we had the home advantage, and the Abuja Stadium, we know, is never favorable to any teams. You know, and Salisu Yusuf, who worked in 2016 as well under Samson Siasia as the assistant coach for the Olympic team that won the bronze medal, should have the experience at this level as well. You know, but unfortunately, he couldn't get his team together, and the team couldn't get a goal. I think, as you said, in Morocco, they have to score at least and hope not to lose. But I think the Olympic team is always, you know, under the cosh because we don't give them as much attention as even the Under-17 and Under-20. But nevertheless, you know, this age group is a very tricky age group for Nigeria because, you know, it's actually a men's football team. You know, it's not like the boys. It's a men's football team, and because the league is not always, you know, playing or not always like in the best frame of mind, that's why we don't do well. Because if you look at the last Olympic team that did well in 2016, where the likes of Ogone Karatebo, where the likes of Azubike, they were already playing in the Nigerian league, and they had the age on them, so then were able to play well. But the boys that are now playing here, they don't have that experience to be able to play at that level.
I totally agree with you, Tofe, and I've been saying it that until we have a defined program for the under-23 team, it will continue to be this way. Tofe, you know what? We'll let you go have some rest because we might just be bringing you back again tomorrow right after that game against Guinea-Bissau. So let's say thank you so much, Tofe Towabola, for your time on the show tonight. Thank you, Austin. Thank you so much. So that's it. A match and player analyst Tofe speaking to us on the show tonight. Just to add one or two things, Cecilia and Bolu, that game against Guinea. Remember, Cecilia, I told you that with the national under-23 team, my expectations are always low. And Coach Salisu Yusuf knew that it wasn't just going to be the sort of game that he wanted because he wasn't even sure of the players to use. We're still expecting Orban a day before the game. Players from Azerbaijan filled up the team. We have players from the league who haven't been consistent. And as Bolu said, it's already a men's team, right? So you must find a program for it. Otherwise, we might just miss the Olympics again. I know it's unthinkable, but teams are doing what they need to do, particularly when they play against Nigeria.
Okay, let's talk about the league where they can actually find some of these players. The Nigerian National League is back. Of course, we're going to be having the abridged version of it. We have so many young players there in that league. We start off with the Lagos derby between Lagos City and Sporting Lagos and Smart City. I mean, these names are so alike. Sporting Lagos and Smart City. That game ended 2-1, of course, in favor of Sporting Lagos. And of course, for that game, it was a clash. So many visitors came on, but at the end of the day, it ended 2-1. I don't know if we have time to take a look at all the results that happened. But then for Smart City, I'll quickly ask you: you saw that game, Smart City and of course Sporting Lagos NNL opening their game in this particular fashion, club that was just formed last season. Yeah, especially Sporting Lagos. One of the teams in Lagos has made many not focus on others like the Vanrizas that came into Lagos. Now even MFM, okay. Yeah, they're out. We have 5 teams in Lagos. Smart City. So I think Sporting Lagos are going in the right direction. Hopefully it continues like this. It's been a while we've celebrated well in Lagos in terms of football. So if we have enough, Sporting Lagos doing the right thing, Smart City coming up. We want to watch more football. We want to watch more league. Interesting thing is I enjoy more football in the women's game. That's talking about FC Robo than I do with the men. So when we start seeing teams like this, especially when they are playing their debuts with huge coverage, it's interesting to watch. And the fact that it's a league game, not the regular state FAs and everything, it's definitely something interesting. So hopefully we get to enjoy more of this. Yeah, Bolu, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight. Good to be again on the day where Ronaldo set the appearance record, 197. Has he scored a goal? Yeah. Not yet. Waiting for that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night's rest.